Aldhib and Amardad started laughing even harder. Joy got mad, and Aldhib grabbed her. I'm just playing around, baby. You got all the little ass I need, enough to grip and dip. Amardad was blushing, while Joy slowly put a smile on her face. Then Aldhib jokingly said, "Ha ha hell, y'all bitches better have my money," and started running away from Joy as she chased him. Zubin and Dahlia reached Cuauhtémoc around 8:30 a.m. and saw one bus driver headed to the back of a building. Dahlia turned to Zubin. "Are you thinking what I'm thinking?" Zubin said. "No, what are you thinking?" Dahlia said. "We take his bus and run his route while we listen in on people's conversations." Zubin said. "What about him? He might alert someone." Dahlia replied. "We lock him up, tie him up, whatever. We'll figure that out later." They rushed to the back of the building, where he was urinating, and Zubin pinned him against the wall as the urine sprayed all over his shoes. The man said, "Hey!" Zubin and Dahlia interrogated the man for 5 minutes. Zubin told the old man, "Sorry, but I can't take any chances." Knocking the old man out, he tied his hands and feet with wires and rags he found scattered around the area. Dahlia shapeshifted into the bus driver and Zubin shrank himself down and jumped into one of her pockets. Loading all their weapons into bags, they loaded the bus. People were upset and fussing over being late. Dahlia started the bus and did as the bus driver instructed her to pick up and drop off as they headed to Pizzeria La Sierra. At the same time, Zubin walked amongst the people, as small as he could, learning what he could. Arriving at Colonia Alvaro Obregon around 7:45 a.m., Efusa and Yom, already covered in dust and sand, added just a bit more to appear homeless and handicapped. Efusa makes one of his feet much larger than the other, and Yom puts on some broken shades she found earlier to appear blind. Walking up to busy intersections and asking for money, while Yom read people's minds. Efusa wrote notes as Yom gave them to him. At 4:30 p.m., all 4 warriors met secretly at Pizzeria La Sierra on a dead-end road off Campo 15, discussing their findings and realizing that the ship's arrival was that night. They determined that it was time to return to camp. Still an hour and a half to camp, they all were weary, hungry, and tired. When they heard space cruisers coming in their direction, they all hid as 3 space cruisers carrying 20 people passed them and landed just ahead of them. Zubin looked, and it was the old bus driver he had knocked out. He looked carefully and saw 4 women, 8 men, a few children, and an old lady holding tightly to the bus driver. They were tied up while 4 men started beating and terrifying the men. 3 men jumped off the space cruisers as the driver cut off the engines while one of them approached the women. "I'm going to start with you, Granny," holding his grouch as he continued. "I know the old man hasn't satisfied you. Maybe you'll get one last orgasm before you die. Afterward, I work my way down to that baby boy over there. Then my men will follow as your husband and these children watch, and then I will kill y'all and leave you here to rot." Zubin and Efusa didn't hesitate and arose from their hiding. "Let's see how you are supposed to do that when you are dead." The old man raised his head. "That's him. That's the guy that took my bus." And Zubin said to the old man, "Sorry, my friend, but I needed to do that. But I promise you one thing, you will not die today." The rest of the warriors walked out with their weapons drawn and ready to fight. The 4 men stopped beating the men, and the brutes turned toward Efusa and the warriors, as the leader said, "Who the fuck are you, and what business is it of yours on what I do?" Zubin said, "If only I had time, I would teach you how to respect women and children, but that'll be a quick lesson before you die. I would love for your death to be done by a woman." Yong didn't hesitate and said, "My pleasure." Yong rushed toward the man, and as the man lunged out to punch her, she quickly cut off his arm as she made a backflip. She quickly decapitated the man. Before the rest of the men could react, the rest of the warriors threw stars, killing them instantly as Zubin and Efusa untied the men and put them in the space cruisers while Yong and Dahlia untied the women and children and they all headed toward the campsite.